Hello my lovelies, I hope you are well. Welcome to God's Enchantments channel. I am Claire and today we are going to be talking about plants. Now, before we get into that, I just want to say how happy I am to be back filming on YouTube. Hoping this time it will be a lot more regular for you guys, but as always, if you want to see me a lot more regularly, if you want to see videos and posts I put up and things like that, do come over and join our closed Facebook group where we have all sorts of things going on. We've recently completed 5 weeks of like a community ocean healing project together where I gave all these beautiful printout PDFs for your book of shadows and things like that. So we're always doing little things over in the group. You might like to come and join us. And yes, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Do subscribe if you haven't already and click the notification bell. All those things really help us here with all the YouTube algorithms and all that stuff. And do leave a comment down below. I reply to as many as I can, which is pretty much all of them. I dedicate time even now when I haven't been filming to coming doing that. So say hi down below. So house plants, we're going to be talking some green magic, some green spirituality, some green witchery today, and talking about how to use plants around your home to help change the energy, to call in specific energies that you're looking for, how to add in crystals and other tools. I don't know if it's going to pick up that crow, but the crows are speaking outside. So let's begin. Firstly, and this is completely not sponsored or anything, I literally saw a ad on Facebook. We were wanting some more house plants, but I'm super fussy. We have 2 cats here, as many of you know them quite well. So everything needs to be pet friendly. So I came across a company, I can't remember what it's called, Beards and Daisies. That's a wee bit seems strange, but okay. That is the company's name. I wonder what it's called that. I should have actually looked that up, but I just saw the magnificent plants and was completely drawn in. So these were delivered to our house this morning in beautiful packaging. Every one was safe, as you can see here. They each come with a card which has like the plant on the front and the details. I have no idea if it's going to focus on that because you're a bit further away than usual today, so you can see the plants. So we got the pet friendly selection box. So we got 4 plants in one box because I love working with plants in the home. They're really good. They help clean the air. Obviously if you get non-flowering, non-allergy ones, they're really wonderful to have in every room, even your bedroom, your bathroom, places people don't think about, and they really do change the energy of your home and your space. Each plant has its own energy and its own properties, and often you can get clues about that by its likes and its dislikes when it comes to sun and how much it needs to be watered. But you can look into plants and their history and all of those things as deep as you want. So we're going to go through my plants here today and kind of how for our home I'm going to add to them and work with them to call in energy and change the energy in certain rooms of our house. So the first one is the Boston Fern, which, like I say, you get these little cards for from this place. I mean, I'm sure you could just pick it up at the garden centre, but with everything going on, you know. And like I said, these ones, if I'm talking about it here, they are certified by these people as cat and dog friendly, non-toxic. If they chew them, you won't end up at the vets, says this company. So, and I did also double check myself because I'm like that. But yeah, all safe for the girls, which is really important to us. So with this beautiful fern, and they come with the pots. So with this fern, this is going to be going in our kitchen because ferns like a more humid environment. They like a lot of warmth around them. And because, think of that for a moment. So they like warmth, they like humidity, they don't like big waterings, they prefer misting. So they're going to bring in energy. So for us, this is going in our kitchen as a kind of green magic, green witchery plant. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to add crystals in around the base on the soil of the plant. Now you can add any crystals you want, tumble stones. If it's some people have huge tall plants, you can put rough crystals in that are much larger. I mean, smaller rough pieces. It's completely up to you and what you feel called. I'm going to do some little different things when we get to later on, but I'll probably put carnelian chipstones in here because the fern's quite large and there's not a lot of space. So I'll program those. Now, the carnelian I'll be using in my plant for the kitchen because it brings in that fire energy. It brings in that Hestia. It brings in that hearth and home energy. So, and that's what we're wanting to really call in and to connect in with the foods that we're cooking in the home. So when we're working with vegetables and chopping them or making something, we want to be able to really connect into the correspondences, the magic and the energy of that food. Those of you that know me know it's a huge passion of mine. At the moment, our Green and Kitchen Witchery course is open for enrollment. If you want more information on that, I teach live. Then you can pop on over to the group or any of the links which will be in the drop down underneath the title of this video. So you can just click there. But it's something that's really important in our household. We like to put a lot of magical energy into our food, be mindful of what herbs we're using, what vegetables we're using, as to what energy we need. Do we need some physical healing? Would we like some peace and tranquility to call happiness in? So I'm putting the carnelian for the fire energy of the kitchen, that energy that we cook with. And it doesn't matter if you have electric and you don't have gas and not going to be using a flame, that fire energy is still present in every kitchen as food cooks. And I'm also going to put in here some green moss agate and some tree agate, because those are two crystals again that connect to the plants, that connect to what's growing on our earth. So if you do grow your own outside, some people have herbs inside, those are two crystals that are really, really great for connecting in with herbs and vegetables. You can put them in the garden, in your garden beds as well. They're great crystals for that. So I'm going to be putting them in here to again help me connect in with that earth energy within the vegetables when I'm cooking them, within when I'm choosing herbs or spices, and I'm wanting to call that energy in. You could, if you wanted, place just a small sprinkling of dried herbs within the pot as well. You could make a little kitchen witchery charm and place that. You could hang that off the side of one of your pots. It's completely up to you. You can personalize these. I'm just hopefully giving you some inspiration on how to use plants around the home, and it seemed perfect timing as I have had some new ones. So this is the Chinese money plant here. Beautiful, beautiful plant. So I'm going to be using this. I mean, money plant, I think it speaks to the energy of abundance and prosperity. But the other thing with this particular plant is it's really, really easy to take cuttings of. Like literally you just need to cut one of these leaves down at the stem, place it into a little pot. I think it says about that on here as well. Does it tell you how to do that in here? Yes, it does. They say cutting of at least 5 centimeters in length. I would say a bit longer. But anyway, so you can cut one of these off, put it in another pot, and a new plant will grow. And there's no hassle to it. It's not complicated. You're not going to get failures, which some plants are harder than others to take cuttings of and bring on a new plant. So again, it's that abundant energy, that prosperity energy. So for us, this plant is going to go in the hallway. We have 2 prosperity altars within the home, one in here and one downstairs near the front door in the hallway. And in here, I'm going to place some natural citrine. I'm going to place some green aventurine. I'm going to sprinkle a little tiny bit, and you only want a little bit because you don't want to interfere with the plant, because your plant is your main energy source. It's that main frequency. So we don't want to add in tons of other plant energy. But I will take a little bit of my prosperity herb powder that I like to use on my candles, and I will just sprinkle just a little bit in there because I've put so much intention into that powder. It's putting intention into this soil and into this plant and pot. So for me, I'm going to be adding some of our, you know, if you're in our community, you've probably got our citrine. It's all natural, no heat treated amethyst if you want prosperity and abundance, guys. I have a whole video on natural citrine if you want to go and watch that one. So I'm going to choose prosperity crystals, those little bits of herbs. I may put a little charm in here. Now I come to think of it, I might do that as well. I'm going to be putting some pictures up, so during this process you're going to see once I've actually finished what I was planning to do. So you do get to see, or probably already have at this point, seen how the fern turned out. So you really want to think about, okay, if that's the plant's energy, where am I going to place the plant to work with that plant's energy? And what can I add to that that again is layering? But we're not just wanting to take from these plants. We're not like, okay, I want to put you there so that you can be part of my prosperity altar and bring prosperity. We also want to be looking after our plants, making sure we're taking care of our plants, visiting your plants. Don't just leave them in a corner and then be surprised when they have suddenly died, which can happen and has happened to all of us, let's face it, at some point. But you want to really nurture your plant, because your plant is going to take from your environment. So making sure it's on a nice area. It does matter to plants that you have thought about the lighting, how often you're going to water it, because again, the plants are energy and we're wanting to work with that energy in our home. So this I'll be turning into a prosperity plant. Now this one here, oh my god, is so pretty. Well, you'll see in the pictures anyway. This is a prayer plant. Went right on my head for a moment there. Now these are really interesting plants. They're called prayer plants because when it gets darker, their leaves kind of curl into a prayer position. So this plant is another plant that also likes humidity, that also likes kind of that steam and a warmer, much more, if you like, tropicalness than what we have here in the UK. So I like to talk a lot about spiritual bathing and ritual in the bathroom. We have our own beautiful handmade ritual soaps that we make. We have ritual bath salts. I'm really big on creating sacred self-care practice, but also ritual practice in the bathroom, so you can wash in the morning with our Aura Clear soap and know that you're being cleansed, even if you can't go and use smoke, because we can't always like go to work or go wherever smelling of white sage. So it's a wonderful aura clearing soap. Now these things, we want to create an environment that makes that more magical, that brings that spirituality to the bathroom. So yes, it's wonderful to have the bath salts and the soap with the crystal on, that you've kind of got your tools there for that side of things, and you can add in a candle if you would like. But actually creating a sacred space in the rooms of your home can really help change the energy, help you to be more focused, help your household to be more harmonious. So for this one, I'm going to, because of that spiritual aspect of what it does with its leaves, because of the fact that it likes that humidity and that heat, this plant is going to be going into our bathroom. So in here, I'm going to add things that bring in more of that water elements. We had like fire elements here with our plant that's going in the kitchen, as well as the earth energy. With this one, we're going to be focusing on the water element. So I'm going to place from our ocean healing work that we did. Some people got a little kit that went along with it. Others used their own tools. Well, part of that kit was a clear quartz dolphin. And I'm going to actually take that beautiful sea energy that we've been working with in group. I'm going to take my dolphin. Obviously, if you've just got a carving, you don't have to have worked with it with sea energy, but a carving that represents the sea, the ocean, rivers to you. It could be a crystal fish, a starfish, something like that. In a crystal as well that you can kind of program, and clear quartz you can program for anything. So that's going to, my dolphin's going to go in and literally go and sit on the soil in the plant pot. I'm also going to add in some shells as well to bring in more of that water energy. I'm going to add some aquamarine in there too, so that I'm creating this little sacred spiritual space within the plant pot, using and working with that plant energy to create sacred space in my bathroom. So it's almost like the plant itself, when you place your plants, they can become little altars. And if you're someone that needs to work a little bit more, you know, in the closet, perhaps you have roommates or you still live at home and it's not feasible for you to have a full-blown altar, you can see how you can work with different elements, so you can tap into different things with plants. And a lot of people are gonna like not even notice that there's crystals and a few things in your plant pots, and if they do, they look very, oh, they've put some decoration in there, and you might get a comment like, oh, that looks cute, you put a dolphin in your plant pot, how sweet. And they're not going to know the magic and the intent behind the work that you have done. So those are the things that I'm going to be popping in there, and this one will go in the bathroom. And last but not least is this beautiful plant, which I hadn't actually seen before came in this box. This did come, it's got its own pot, by the way, which is this blue one, but it came in like this little one here, but I can pick this one up. But this is a string of hearts plant, and it's a trailing plant, so it's going to grow over and grow down, and each of the leaves is a beautiful tiny heart. Every single one of them is heart shape. I mean, how beautiful is that? So this one for me is bringing very much that heart center, obviously, energy in, that heart chakra space. The fact that our little spark of source that we carry with us into this lifetime is held within the heart space, that heart chakra area as well. So again, it's calling you back to your heart center, which is really important generally, but also in spiritual work, of which I obviously do a lot of. So this one is going to be staying in here with me, with the hope that it's going to trail lovely and I'll be able to hang it back here eventually, or have just a nice shelf for it and it coming down the front, really depending how the plant wants to grow, because I don't train my plants or cut them in certain ways. If they want to grow a certain way, hang a certain way, that's what we're going to be going with. So we will see how this one comes along. So for that, I'm going to be adding in some rose quartz connecting to that heart area. I'm going to add in some prehnite, again connecting back to the heart. But I'm also going to bring in a little bit of amethyst as well, because I want to connect the heart center and the upper chakras, the spiritual connection, the spiritual self, the connection between source and heart, and I want that energy nurtured and coming forth within this room, which has obviously all of my altars, a lot of tools, and all my magical things in. So that's going to stay in here and really represent connection to source, divine femininity as well. There are so many ways you could work with these plants, and you may hear me speak about the fern and straight away think, well, actually, I would use that fern in this room for that energy, because you're going to see something slightly different than me. But by bringing plants into your home, I find it really does make the air better. I feel that my home feels more alive and uplifted. The more living things, the more high frequency things you have in your home. So if you have crystals around the house, having plants around the house, it's all raising that positive energy. Plants help to keep low vibrations under control as well. So often if you have a good selection of house plants, and especially if you do work with them spiritually, like I have spoken about today, and pop them around your home, you might find you need to smudge and cleanse and do your home protections less. But even if you're someone who doesn't do those things and you just want to work more with plant energy and crystal energy, the two go beautifully hand in hand, because all of your crystals have come from the earth. They are connected to Gaia. They still continue to have that energy, whether they've come out and been carved into a dolphin or whether they're still a rough piece of rose quartz. They have the earth connection, even if they have other elemental connections due to their correspondences and colour, for example. The earth connection's still there. And of course our plants have grown in earth. They're in earth right now, and you're going to take care of them and nurture them. And that is part of a green spiritual household, and bringing those two together. The plants stay healthy. They love crystals. You'll know if a plant doesn't like a particular crystal, because they'll be like, oh, I've added a new crystal and it just doesn't look as happy. It looks a little bit wilty-tilty today, and change a crystal out. But for the most part, if you have consciously tuned into that plant's energy, decided on the room, put intention into those crystals or shells or charms, whatever you would like to pop in there, I would say there are really no no's. Obviously, don't put anything toxic that's going to affect the plant. And for my personal preferences and practice, we only put natural things into our plants. Things from nature, and we don't work with dyed or treated crystals either. I wouldn't personally put glass in here, but you could for a color correspondence. If you didn't have a certain color crystal and you put some other crystals in, but you just wanted to add like one of those, what are those little round glass bead things that are flat that people often put in plant pots, I cannot think what they're called, to bring in some colour magic, you could. Trust your intuition to guide you right. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. I look forward to the next one. Like I say, do come over and join us in the Facebook group. There's lots of information there. If you want more info on the Green in Kitchen Witchery course, that's going to be starting in a few weeks live, and it has its own group, its own classroom. The link to the Academy site will be there with the group, but there's a videoing group as well. And yeah, so that is it from me. I hope you are all well. I hope you are staying safe wherever you are, and I will speak to you all very soon. Blessed be.